What's up, guys? Hey, got the Curry boys out at the Chicken Fried Ranch. Gonna shoot a little video. We don't oftentimes do this, so check it out. What's up, guys? We take the flares to the back of the property. Gonna take a cruise out back. Our property's 550 wide by a half mile deep. Jake will show you the ride back on the trail. We are back in the southwest corner of my property. If you look right there, that is the Van Gilder property. So lots of times people have asked me, why are you supporting this? Why is this so important to you? And at first, honestly, I was absolutely against it. My tree stand is right over there. I don't want to sit in my tree stand and hear buzzing and hear construction and hear all of the things that are going, that are being shouted loudly about the project. You can see I've got a beautiful pond right behind our property here, and they're talking about extracting all the water, and the wells are going to go dry, and then the energy costs are going to go up. And at first, I was with you. I was with you, man. There was like 100 people shouting this as loud as they could. Shut it down. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I don't want it in my backyard. Then we started to explore it. And it just appeared to me that the people that were shouting the loudest had the least information. And I needed to go do what I do, which is get the research. So we've started to do that. We called out to MHOG. We've talked to several different municipalities. We called the Van Gilders directly. And one of them Ryan came over and sat down, had a conversation with us for about an hour and a half. And after meeting him, never have met him before, it was very apparent to me that he was a good man. He was a young man raising a family and had the best intentions for our community. The naysayers have disgustingly gone after their family, and that I'm absolutely against. It's their property. They can do as they wish. We're close. Yeah, do I get to have some say in it? Sure, through governmental bodies and those types of things. But my say stops where the safety guidelines stop. And that's it. That is property rights. So guys, let's go back inside. I want you to see some of the research that we've done through a couple different videos. All right, guys, we're back inside. I'm over at Jake's house. He set up the screen so that I could watch the videos. Deb and Shane went out to Chicago to talk to some real people. They didn't notify them that they were coming. They hopped in the car and drove there, and that way they got real answers from real people. Of course, all of the questions that we have: water usage, are the wells going to dry up? Is the electric going to spike? Is there going to be brownouts? All these questions we want to know. Jake had an opportunity to sit down with the developers, representatives at a private meeting, and they said they were going to stroke checks to make our water system state of the art, to upgrade our electrical grid so that it was also state of the art. And, I don't know what to believe from these developers. When they came in at first blush, they really fumbled the ball and they lost some trust with us. And they've since come back to modify the site plan, and they want to ensure that the community embraces them. So, like I said in the beginning, this wasn't my gig. I was against it. As I started to explore different things and talk to different people, it was very important to me as I dig in to determine what is going to be the impact to my family, my farm, my hunting spot, all the stuff. and my eyes just became opened. It's not necessarily who's loudest out there in our community that's telling the truth, and that's why I wanted to see these videos. So let's watch the first one with the Altoona, which is in Illinois, mayor and the development director. These guys, again, no clue that anybody was coming in. They just walked in, showed up, and the guys agreed to shoot a little video. Let's check it out.
About water. Altoona produces our own water from the Jordan Aquifer. And so that's an advantage to us because we control our water supply. The data center that's here in town just became our #1 water user when their last building went online. So they were, what, 4 million square feet, and they still weren't our #1 water user. And we always joke if they quit watering their lawns by their offices, they'd be, maybe wouldn't be #1. So water has not been a problem at all.
Okay.
The data center that we have is very cognizant of water usage and try very hard not to use a lot of water. So
4
zero problem.
million.
Well,
Okay.
no, none of that.
All right.
None of that.
What about electrical use? Our residents are concerned that their energy costs are going to go up because of this, because of all the usage and all the needs of this particular data center. So have you seen that or heard of that?
We have not seen that, no. This data center, I think, is powered entirely by wind energy. They built a wind farm in eastern Iowa. So, yeah, we have not.
So, guys, when Jacob sat down with these developers as well, their representatives, they said that they create their own energy and feed it back into the grid. Again, I'm not an expert in this stuff. I don't know.
Okay.
But
All right.
here's an example
Okay.
of a data center doing exactly that.
Have you run into any noise complaints or any other complaints from the residents that, living local? And if so, how did the company address them right away? Were they responsive to any kind of complaints, if any?
Recently I was out there, and this site, part of it's about a mile from the interstate. You can't hear the property, you can only hear the interstate. And it's not, it's a busy interstate, but it's not like it's right.
That is crazy because 50 decibels, I'm thinking, man, I'm going to be sitting out in my hunting stand, right? Or taking a walk with my grandson, and there is going to be a buzzing going on. And that's what's been screamed from the rafters, how loud it is. When I had an opportunity to talk to Shane, I said, did you hear anything? He said, no. And it's confirmed right here with these guys.
Oh, good. That was another question I was going to ask. Any smells or anything like that?
No. They do have generators.
So now there's got to be smells from the generators that are their backup power. That other thing that I heard in the community.
Okay.
At times when
And
it's appropriate.
is valid concern.
They do it just
So let's
in
check
case
it
of
out.
emergencies.
Okay.
So they do exercise those generators. There are a handful of residential properties around there. I think a couple of those, if you were to go interview them, they would tell you they're great neighbors because it's not a lot of traffic, it's not a lot of noise. They really enjoy them as being neighbors.
Okay. What about lights? What about lighting? Is there lights that, in the beautiful farmland there or whatever that?
Well, not any more than if you're going to develop the area. I would say it's less lighting across the street than the warehouse would be with a parking lot.
Right.
Because you don't have parking lots right up against, they have berms.
Okay.
Prairie grass. And so I would say building other things like commercial and warehouses where you have parking lots where the lights are on all night, that would be worse than a data center.
Okay.
And as far as complaints as an elected official, no, even when we were building it, we didn't have a lot of pushback, but that was a long time ago.
Sure.
Data centers have kind of.
That's amazing, guys, because, obviously, like I said, there's a thing called light pollution, and nobody wants any part of that. But I would imagine that street lamps from high-density housing or the commercial frontage, based on these guys' description,
But no,
would
I
be
don't have
much
any
worse
complaints
than
from
what the
citizens at
data
all.
center would
And
provide.
they're from the economic development or community development side of things. How do they interact with the community? Was it just at first and now they're sort of out on their own, or do they continue to interact? Are they community partners?
They continue to interact, and part of the reason is because it's continually under construction. As technology changes, they continue to make upgrades on site. They're extremely easy to work with from the city development side. The building department has no issues with these guys. Community development folks have no issues with these guys. They do exactly what they say they're gonna do, and they do it the right way. I mean, they're building a first-class facility.
Yeah.
They're trying to cut corners out there at all.
Now, in their interaction with the community, every year they have their community grants program, and then they bring out all those that had gotten the grant. They come and do an awards where I come and speak and they do a little
Big ceremony.
big ceremony about all the money that they've given away. And they give to all the schools, they give to the libraries, anything that's technology driven, STEM, like we spoke about earlier. They're really willing to help out, and also infrastructure. So they've been great partners all the way around. Nothing bad to say.
Okay.
In fact, very supportive. If you have a chance to get one of these, I would take it.
You have any?
So guys, that's the other thing that when Jake sat down with these developers, they had thrown out on the table that, with regard to if there was an adjustment in taxes, they would consider like paying property taxes for people. They would consider doing buyouts on their houses if they didn't want to live there anymore. They had even stated that, they want to be so embraced by the community that they would go over and above to get in with the schools or emergency services to make like a robotics program or some type of
Any questions?
education foundation. So
I'm here with Shane Fagan.
You hear these guys
Hello.
out.
How many data centers do you have in the city?
My man Shane.
Total?
Well, they'll tell you there's 12 on site, and that's kind of just the way they separate them. We do have another property that's a data center though. That's separate from this, separate ownership, different.
Okay.
Yeah, they're smaller, but so we've had, and that data center's been in town since the early 2000s.
Yeah, so we're not.
So, and this one's been around, these ones here have been around. I am also hearing now, or at least I met with some of the data center developers, and they were showing plans for the other states that they're growing in, and the buildings are getting smaller as they go because they're able to shrink the
They get more efficient.
Yes,
The other
yes.
thing too, I guess I should mention is, we have 2 other properties that are owned and zoned for data centers.
Okay,
They're already owned by development companies.
Okay.
We're not afraid of data
We're not
centers.
afraid.
okay.
We like.
Anymore.
data centers here. Yeah, we'll take them. As long,
Okay.
as long as we could get the power from Mid-American Energy.
Sure.
That's our big, that's what holds us back right now for any other data centers. And the original one in town is actually looking to expand as well.
Okay,
And
Okay.
we're all for it. We have zero problems with them.
okay.
One other question I would like to hit on. I think one of our constituents' biggest concerns is their own property values.
Oh,
Have you
yes.
seen any kind of evidence that it's decreasing property values, making land unsellable or undesired for new residents?
It probably depends on how you want to zone the property around it. Directly around it, if you have a similar use, it's going to increase the property values for those property owners. People seem to want to be by these things because they do drive infrastructure. They will have to install some infrastructure. My guess is they will, not knowing how your community is laid out.
No, there's infrastructure needed,
Yeah,
yes.
that will drive additional development, and these guys are great job producers. They've got 400 to 500 permanent on-site employees. They've had 1,300, I think, maximum at a time, construction workers on site. That drives a lot of additional
That's
uses into
amazing.
restaurants and
Sure.
retail shops and
Hotels
people
and,
that move
yeah.
to town, but it's mainly people that will stay in hotels during the week during construction, and then they may go home. But there are permanent people that have worked and lived here. There's some people that have worked out there since day one.
Yeah,
that
well,
live
like
here in
Chris-
town.
So Deb asked a lot of good questions. But again, government officials, right? Are we getting canned data? Is it that they don't want to offend their taxpayer in the data center? That's a great question. So next they go to an old farmer down the street. They just roll up on him, and it's he and his wife, and they ask him all kinds of questions. And I truly appreciate Deb doing that, because that's the guy that I want to hear from. That's the old John Mills of our area, right? So let's check that out next.
We're across the street. You can see the data center here, and we're across the street talking to the gentleman that lives across the street. So just, can you tell us, on behalf of the residents that may be living nearby, what is it like living next to a data center?
It's no disruption at all for us.
No
Initially,
disruption.
When the construction was going on for a few years, maybe a little bit, very little. It's
He
nice
laughs.
to have all down lighting on it, so that's not intrusive. It's not noisy at all. And
It's not noisy at
rather
all.
have that there than a bunch of apartment houses or houses and dogs and that kind of thing living across the street. Because the traffic is not great. So, I guess you count that as security.
Added security?
Yeah, they have I call them rental cops that drive down this road. It's a dead end road.
Okay.
And they drive down this road probably every hour, all day and all night.
I hadn't thought about
So
that.
we don't worry too much about anybody else on causing problems. But yeah,
No noise, no smell. Have you had any issues with electrical surges or problems or water issues or anything?
not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Power increase or the rate of your electricity?
Yeah,
Hasn't increased the rate of our electricity, but the rate of our water.
okay.
So it hasn't
You're on a
increased the
municipal water
electricity.
supply here?
We're not now.
That is one of the things I wanted to confirm. So
Okay.
somebody who lives there.
That's the city.
Okay.
So you're on your own private well?
No,
Okay.
we're on a rural water system. So we're on a different water system than they are. They're on the city water system without that.
Okay.
But, yeah, we have no complaints really.
Other than maybe looking at it.
It's not even that intrusive. We live on a farm here and I tell my wife, you don't like it, go outside on the deck, look the other way.
What, how much property, you have corn? No, you have just field over here. How much property do you have farmland?
We have 200 acres right here.
Okay. Okay, wow. And it's not affected your crops and no pollution or anything like that? We're listening to the residents there and they have concerns. We don't have anything like that. And this one's gonna be, this one's supposed to be settled in the middle of about 1,000 acres with, 300-400 feet setbacks from everything with berm, so,
When this first was approved, yeah, we were kind of concerned about it too.
sure.
And in fact, my neighbor and I used to farm that land over there, and that's just excellent farm ground.
Okay,
I said, throw corn out on the ground and grow 200 bushels. It really was. When they were excavating over there, we'd watch the excavators until you couldn't see the roof anymore, and they were still pulling out black dirt.
okay, wow.
So from that perspective, as a farmer, it's kind of heartbreaking to watch that. But no,
For sure.
it was.
So you'd have no problems recommending that, or saying that, if
I'm
you,
not going to know if I'd recommend it, but I have no problems with that one.
Okay.
That's there. I wouldn't be afraid to have another one over there.
okay. And you,
No
if
problems.
you were to do it all again, would you still have, like, if they went away and then wanted to come back again, would you protest or would you be okay with it? Knowing what you know now?
I don't know. That depends on what they're going to do with it when they leave.
Oh, yeah, that's true, that's true.
Could you speak to the value of
Yeah.
your property at all?
Well,
Have you lost value or,
as a whole, in this county, pretty much, not just right here. See, we're in a kind of a triangle between several developing cities and Des Moines.
Lansing, Detroit, Ann Arbor.
In the last 15 years, it's gone sky high.
okay, well, that's good to know.
Values
We have
gone
residents that
sky
are
high.
afraid they're gonna lose property value, if a data center moves in nearby, but I've not seen that yet.
Maybe if we wanted to sell this land for housing development, residential, it might hurt a little bit. But we have people every year coming offers, make us big offers on this place.
Oh, wow.
They want to make industrial parks and commercial stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's Heritage Farm has been in our family for 160 years. So
Okay,
we're
yeah,
not
you're not
concerned
going
about
anywhere.
selling
All right,
Yeah, they don't make land anymore, do they?
it.
no,
My dad always said they don't make it anymore.
yeah. All right, well, thank you so.
All right, guys. So that brings it to a wrap. This does not concern me with regard to this data center. And in fact, there could be several benefits to the community. The 120 acres of the riding and equestrian trails, the property that they're donating for community event center, whatever that is. And man, I want to get on here because I know the Van Gilders have taken a beating and tell them thank you for really looking into it and interviewing different property purchasers. Rather than 1,200 homes in my backyard at my hunting blind, they have actively searched out the best purchaser with the least damage to the rural area. I personally, I can appreciate that. So that's it. That's the air perspective. If you want to know why, we're seeming to be for it, it's just because we're being real and we're getting real information. There's likely to be a town hall coming up that will include MHOG, Livingston County Drain Commission, the representative from DTE, so that we can explore all these things. We certainly want to have some people there from the townships because we want to make sure that we get good protections in place. Those protections should be if they consider approval for the planning commission or for the board of trustees, it should be a conditional approval based on performance. They call it a performance guarantee from the developer. So that's it. We love you guys. We hope you stay blessed. I hope this has brought some information right directly to your phone or your computer. And man, it's, whether you're with it or against it makes no difference to me. Everybody's got an opinion, and we're glad to hear each and every one of them. So we love you guys. Stay blessed.